How you going, guys? Pedro here. I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to use Pictoweave, or the way I use it anyway. So we'll go through a few important things on how we get this fantastic program to create a weave pattern for us. First and foremost, when you find a picture on the internet or a picture that you may already have, make sure that it's as high a resolution as you can possibly get. The more detail that you've got in the picture, the better it is. And once you've got that, then you'll need to manipulate the picture in some type of photo editing program to crop away the edges that you don't want to have in the weave. Otherwise the program itself, Pictoweave, will read the total width and length of the picture, and it'll sort of decrease the definition that you'll get in it. Okay, so first of all, I've taken a picture off the internet that I found this morning. In this case, we're going to do a weave of Jackson Brown. At any rate, so I found this image here. I'll just bring it up and show you. So it's not that big a resolution, but it's not too bad. It shows all his facial features, which is what we're trying to capture. So what I normally do with it is I get a picture like that and I'll take it into a program called Microsoft Publisher. Most of you people will have it. It's part of the Office program. It's pretty easy to get hold of. So I'll just delete this picture. It was the picture that we had before that I was mucking around with, and we'll insert the original picture into Publisher, and we'll show you how I manipulate it. So we'll just find it. There it is there. Okay, so that's the one. So basically just bring the picture up, make it a decent size so you can work with it, and the first thing that you should be doing is cropping away what you don't want in the weave. So I'll just take the sides away, bring it in close to where his hair finishes there, and same on the other side. The top's not too bad, but we'll get rid of some of this stuff down here, and so we only really want to capture his face, so that's pretty good. This is in a grayscale obviously, but what I'm going to do is change it over to a black and white image, because we're going to do a silhouette weave. So basically that's not too bad. You can sort of muck around with the brightness of it and the contrast, you know, to try and get what results you want, what you want it to look like. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that just for this exercise. That's not too bad. The next thing that I decide is whether I'm going to do it in the horizontal or the vertical position. In this case I'm going to do in the vertical position. So what I need to do is roll the picture around so that it's like that. Okay, so there we go. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. Alright, so I've already done this and saved the image, so let's pretend that I've saved the image to the desktop, and then we'll go through and we'll open up Pictoweave. This is fairly important in how we set this out. So there's Pictoweave open for you. So first thing we do is go up to the file and click on new project, and then next. Okay, so here's one of the important bits. Decide what design threads you're going to use. In my case I like to use Madeira 40 for my design, so I'm going to click on that. The next thing is that I'll probably, if I'm using Madeira 40, I'll use a plain A as the wrap thread. However, if you used an A as your design, you'd want to use probably a C or a D for your wrap thread. So I'm going to use the A next. Okay, so now it's going to ask me what size is the blank diameter. So if you measure up about where the weave's going to go and measure the diameter, and for this, let's say, oh no, 16 mil, that'll be close enough. Next. Okay, so now what we want to, it's asking me how wide do I want to make the weave. This will tell me how many design threads I'm going to use in it. So I found with Madeira, if you run up to say 22 or 23 millimeters wide, that'll give you somewhere between 95 and 100 threads. So you'll get a fair bit of definition with that amount of thread in there. So alright, so I'm gonna set that at 23 mil, and then I'm going to click on this launch image evaluation tool, and the reason for doing this is that I've already told the program I want it 23mm wide, so this helpful tool here will then tell me how long and how many wrap threads there are going to be just by loading the image up. So we'll go through and we'll find that image, and I called it Jackson Brown P2W, so that's it there. So we open that up, it has a look at the image, and I've told it I want it 23mm wide, and it'll calculate how long it's going to be. So we close that window and then we go to next, and it calculated that it's 33mm wide, so I'm happy with that. Right, so we'll click on finish, and now Pictoweave has loaded the grid up for me. Okay, and you can see here that it's got 101 design threads and 168 wrap threads. Okay, so won't panic too much about that. We're going to use a 100 thread jig, but we'll just probably not put one in the first thread. We won't do any colour in the first thread. So the next thing you do is that you load the image. So just from wherever you saved it from, in this case I saved it on the desktop, and we'll go down and we'll find that image, and here we go, Jackson Brown P2W. So we load that up. Alright, so you can blow it up or drop it down to whatever size. So basically there's the image in your grid. You can see there in the top row here there's no colour in rows 1 and 2 anyway, so it's no great drama about 101 threads. We'll get that down to 99 or 100, whatever. Okay, so there's the image in there. The next step is that we're going to colour it in. Now, to save all the boring stuff, I've already done this and coloured the image in. So there it is here. So I've coloured it in using Madeira 1800, which is the black thread for Madeira, and we'll just bring that down in size so you can see it on the screen. So it's all coloured in there, and then what I'll do is have a look at it by using a white background, because that's what I'm going to use as my wrap thread anyway. So then you go up here to edit and fill with wrap colour. So basically it will go through and fill it with the wrap colour. There it is there. And then if you're pretty happy with that, well, if you're not happy with it, just go around and change it. But the next thing to do is save a screenshot, which will give you a better idea. It takes all the grid lines away, and it sort of pretty well shows you what the image is going to be like. And it says there to save Jackson Brown screenshot, and we'll go save that to the desktop. And in a second, we'll open up the screenshot and have a look at it. So there you go. That's pretty much what it's going to look like if you follow the pattern. It's pretty close resemblance of Jackson Brown. I'm pretty happy with that. I'd be happy to weave that onto a rod for someone. So, okay, that's fine. So the next step that we'll go to is we're going to create our left list now. Okay, so up here you'll see on the top there you've got display your left list. So let's click on that. Okay, so here we go. There's our left list there. I'll just close that down, and before we go to that, I'll show you a couple of important options that you've got here. If you click on the options there, left list settings, have a look in there, and it says here highlight layer changes, highlight drop threads, and highlight added threads. Fairly important that you check those to make sure that they actually show that on the left list for you. It saves you looking right through the left list, especially if you've got a multi-layer weave with 6 or 8 layers in it and 6 or 7 different colours in it. What it helps you do is instead of looking through the whole line, it allows you to see where the layers have changed, and where the threads are dropped or where the threads are added. And it puts a little symbol beside it where it says A for add and C for change and R for remove. So all you've got to do is look for those little symbols and the corresponding thread number and colour, and either change it, drop it or add it. So fairly important to use these things. It makes it a whole lot simpler for you to get through your left list. Okay, so I've got those checked already because I do a lot of multi-layer weaves. So we'll go back to our left list again, and it's up to you guys how you do this, but I print this out in an Adobe PDF. Okay, so we'll print that, Alright, so Jackson Brown, and we'll just save it as Jackson Brown left list. Okay, so we're going to save that in my weave files, and pretty shortly it'll bring up. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got these little symbols here. In the first row we've got thread number 21 comes out, and the second one it's add 20 and remove 21, 3 is remove 20, 4's got nothing, yeah, and so on and so on. When we get down here a little bit more intricate, we can see that it's adding threads all the way along, and like I said before, makes it far simpler here that you don't have to look through the whole line to make sure that you've got the threads. All you need to do is look for these little symbols that appear before the thread number, and it tells me here to add 9, add 10. Nothing happens with the rest of this until I get to the end and remove 83. So again, like I said, it makes it fairly simple. Major reason that I use this Adobe 9 Professional is instead of printing it out on paper and having paper in your way all the time and trying to keep a track of where you are in the weave, it's far simpler to have a program like this where you can keep it up on the computer screen in front of you, and then once you've done the row you can just highlight that you've done it, and again highlight the next one when you've done that, until you get right through to the end. And then once you've completed it and you want to close it down, you can say, do you want to save the change, and you can go no, so you can reuse that one again and it's ready to go. Alright, so that's the left list all sorted out for you. So the next one is layer list, which you'll see this little icon here. It says display layer list. Okay, so what it's going to do, this one will be fairly simple. There's only one layer in the weave, and it's all in black thread, so it's just calculating now the threads that we're going to use from row 0 through to 100, I guess. So here it is here, and it just shows me. Again, I'll print it in Adobe PDF, and there we go. Okay, it'll ask me to save it, so I'll ask, say Jackson Brown layer list, and save that. So it's creating the PDF for me now, and it'll bring it up any old tick of the clock. There it is. Okay, so we know on the layer list that we've got from thread holder number 2 all the way through to 96, we need to lay a black thread in there. What the layer list also does with the new program is that if you're using it for a multi-layer weave, what it'll do is it'll put the thread in the first layer that you're going to use first. For instance, if we had 6 colours in this and the first colour that we were going to use on thread 2 was black, it'll put black there. If it was blue, it'll put blue there, and so on and so on. And it actually makes it very easy for you to lay your threads out on top of each other, so you've got guidelines with blocks of colour. I should show you a layer list of a colour one, which I will do. Doesn't want to play the game for me at the moment, so alright. I'll just go to my programs here and see if I can get out a colour layer list to give you an idea of what we're talking about. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Let's see if this one's any good to me. There you go, you can see your blocks of colour there in that layer list. Okay, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. There's not much more really that you can do with that, and like I said, it's a fairly simple thing to get. That's why it won't close down on me. That open. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. If there's something else that you'd like to know about Pictoweave, just make a comment on this video, and I'll endeavour to add some more detail to it and try and make it a bit easier for you guys to use it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you get a bit of help out of this, and I'll catch you next time.